Okay, what we are going to do today is a PDA, okay, a push down automata for a language L given by a raised to n, b raised to n, such that n is greater than or equal to 0. Okay, so for this language, okay, the L, the strings that belong to this language would be epsilon, because we have this condition n is greater than or equal to 0. And if it is equal to 0, then the string would be epsilon. If it is n equal to 1, I would have a string of the form a b. If I have n is equal to 2, it would be of the form double a followed by double b. And if I have n equal to 3, I would have 3 a's followed by 3 b's, and so on. So if you look at the strings of this language, we see that two conditions have to be met. One is that the number of a's should be equal to the number of b's. Okay, and the second condition is that we always see that a is followed by a b. No string will be of the form where b is followed by an a. So we should have a PDA that accepts this particular language which has strings that has number of a's is equal to number of b's, and b's should not be followed by a. Okay, so the initial condition would be that for whatever string we want to ensure that is accepted or rejected, that string would be present on the tape, and the pointer would be pointing to the first symbol onto the tape. Okay, and my stack would be empty, so it would only contain the blank characters. So what is the logic that is being used over here to construct this PDA? Since we have a tape and since we have a stack, the logic would be that whenever I read an A on the tape, I would push that A onto the stack, and whenever I see a B on the tape, I will pop an element from top of the stack. Okay, for that B, there should be a corresponding A. So when I pop an element from a stack, when I see a B on the tape, it means that A should be popped out from top of the stack. And if it is the case, for that B, there is an equivalent A. Okay, now when I reach the end of the string, that is when I get to a blank character onto the tape, and when I pop an element from the stack, and that also happens to be a blank character, that means there are equal number of a's and equal number of b's in my string. Such a string should be accepted. Okay, suppose that I reach the end of the tape, I get to a blank character, I pop an element from the stack, and I've got an a popped onto the stack and not a blank character. That means that the number of a's are greater than the number of b's. Okay, or if it is the case that I read a B on top of this. I read a B on the string, but when I pop an element from the stack, I'm getting a blank character, in which case the number of B's would be greater than the number of A's, and hence such a string also should be rejected. Okay, so these are the conditions for accept and reject. Okay, so this is the algorithm that is present over here. So for every A that we read, we will push A onto the stack. Okay, but also remember that when we read an element from the tape, the head moves one place to the right, and when we find a B, we pop an element from the stack and it should be an A. Okay, if it is not an A, then that string is not valid. Okay, the accept condition would be that I need to read a blank character on the tape, and when I pop an element from the stack, I should get a blank character. Okay, in that case we will accept. And the reject condition is if I read a B on the string, and when I pop an element from the stack, it is blank. It simply means that the number of B's are greater than the number of A's. And if we read a blank character on the tape, that is reached the end of the string, but when I pop an element from the stack, I'm getting an A. It simply means that number of A's are greater than number of B's. Okay, and reject conditions need not be shown, right? So if we have to just show this, so if I have to show this in terms of 3 a's followed by 3 b's, see, for the first a, because I read an a, I will push it onto the stack, and the read write head will be moving one place to the right. Okay, because at the second position also I read an A, I push an A onto the stack. So now my stack contains two A's because I read two A's on the string. Okay, and the read write head moves one place to the right. So at the third position also I am reading an A. So I'll push another A onto the stack because I've read three A's. I've got three A's onto the stack. Okay, now and the read write head moves one place to the right. So at the fourth position I've got a B. If I get a B, I'm supposed to pop an element from the stack. Okay, so the topmost element is popped and it happens to be an A. So I can move forward. So the read write head moves one place to the right, and when I read the fifth element, it's a B. So I pop an element from the stack. Okay, the popped element again happens to be an A. So I move one place to the right. Okay, so I read a B again. So again I am popping one element from top of the stack. Okay, and I move the read write head on one place to the right. The popped element obviously is an A. Now I read a blank character on the tape. Okay, so I pop an element from top of the stack. It is also a blank character. So the number of A's is equal to the number of B's. In such a case, the string would be accepted. In case of a rejection, suppose I have two A's followed by three B's, in which case the number of B's are greater than the number of A's. Okay, so initially when I see an A, see the initial condition is the read head is at the first position of the string and the stack is empty containing only blank. Okay, for the first A that I read, I push an A onto the stack and the read head moves one place to the right. For the second A I read, I push an A onto the stack and I move one, and the stack becomes blank character followed by two A's, and the read head is moved one place to the right. For the first B that I'm reading at the third position, I pop an element. The popped element is an A. So the read head moves one place to the right, and I've got a single A followed by a blank character on the stack. Okay. For the second B that is present, again I have read a B, so I'm supposed to pop an element from the stack. So the popped element will be an A. Now my stack only contains a blank character. Okay. So now the stack contains only a blank character, and the read write head is moved one place to the right. So I've got a B at the position. Because I read a B, I'm expected to pop an element from top of the stack, but the popped element now will be blank. Okay, because there are no more A's. There were only two A's, and for the first two B's they got popped out. For the third B there is no corresponding A. So simply means that the number of B's are greater than the number of A's. So we reject such a string. Okay, and similarly it can be shown for number of A's greater than the number of B's. Okay, so in this case, I for the first two A's I will push A onto the stack. Okay, so the first two are push operations, and the read write head will always move one place to the right. By the time I reach the third position, which is a B, I will pop an element from top of the stack. So the stack now contains an A followed by blank, because after reading the third symbol B, if I move one place to the right, the symbol that I am reading will be a blank. And because I read a blank, I pop an element from top of the stack. But now when I read a blank and pop an element from the stack, I'm getting an A. That means there is an extra A present in my string, and that is why the string will be rejected. Okay, so this is how is shown in our mm, this is how it's shown in our PDA. Start going to read one. So when in read one, if I see an A, I will push an A onto the stack. So this takes care of all the A's that are being read. For every A that I read, I will push an A onto the stack. In read one, if I read a B, I pop an element from top of the stack and check whether it is an A. So if it is an A, okay, then I will go forward and do the next processing. Okay, because for every B that I read, I'm supposed to get a corresponding A. Okay, this is the first B and the first A. This is the first B that I read, and this is the first A that will be popped. Okay, then I will go to read 2. Okay, then I will read from the string. I should be getting a B. If I get a B, then I will pop an element from the stack and it should be an A. So this will take care of all the equal number of A's and equal number of B's. At read 2, if I get a blank character, I pop an element from the stack. Now if the number of A's are equal to number of B's, then the popped element would be a blank character, in which case I am going to accept. Okay, so this would take care of equal number of A's and equal number of B's for n greater than or equal to 1. But we had an epsilon which also is a part of your language, so that is taken care with this read one. So at the beginning itself, at read one, if I read a blank character on the string, and if I pop an element from top of the stack and that is also a blank, then I will go into accept condition. So this read one on blank and pop two on blank take care of the epsilon part. Okay, now the rejection part, this read one on B and if I pop an element and I get a blank would go to reject, simply means there's an extra B present in your string. So if number of B's are greater than the number of A's, then the path that would be followed would be read one, I would get a B. If I pop, I get a blank character, and that is why the string would be rejected. For the case where the number of A's are greater than the number of B's, if I read at read 2, if I read a blank character, that means all the B's are completely over in my string. But when I pop from the stack, I'm getting an A. It simply means that the number of A's are greater than the number of B's, and that is why such a string should be rejected. So at read 2, if I get a blank, if I pop and if I get an A, I'm going to reject the string. See, the third condition where B cannot be followed by A can be handled at read 2 only. At read 2, I must get a B, okay, because I cannot get an A. So at read 2, if I get an A, I'm supposed to reject such a string, because this is a condition where where B is for being followed by A, which is not allowed according to the language. So the diagram only shows here two strings. Sorry, shows here only two rejections. The third one can be shown at read 2 for B followed by A. Okay, now just to see the simulation, I will just show you the acceptance. So let us consider a string double A followed by double B, which is an accepted string. The column headers are current state, stack contents, and tape head. So when I see initially I'm at the start position, the stack contains only a blank character, and I've got two A's followed by two B's. So when I'm in start, okay, at the next state I go to is read one. The thing that on the tape I'm reading an A from the tape, and the stack contents are blank, and because I read an A, the header is moved one place to the right. Okay, then at read one, if I read an A, the next state I will go to is push A. So when I push and content onto the stack contents become blank followed by A, and nothing happens to the tape because the operation is on the stack itself. So the header remains at the same position, second position. After push A, the next state that I go to is read one. And what do I read? Because the header is pointing at A and I'm reading a symbol A. What happens to the stack contents? Nothing happens to the stack contents, because we are doing a read operation. But on the tape, the head will move one place to the right because we are doing a read operation. So at read one, if in read one state, if I see an A, I push that A onto the stack. So the stack becomes blank followed by two A's, and the tape header remains in the same position because this is a stack operation. After push A, I go to the state called as read one. And what is the symbol I'm being read? See, currently the pointer in step number 5, currently the pointer is at B. So I'm reading a B because I've read a B. Okay, what happens to the stack? The stack remains the same, whereas the head pointer moves one place to the right in case of the tape. In read one, if I read a B, I'm supposed to go to pop one. I go to a state called as pop one. I'm asked to pop an element from top of the stack. So the element that is popped from top of the stack is an A. So that is why the stack becomes blank followed by A. And what happens to the tape? Now, there is no change in the tape. From pop 1, when I see an A, I go to read 2. So in read 2, what is the symbol that is being read? So look at step number 7. The header is at B. So I have read a B. So the stack remains the same. Because I have read a B, I move the header one place to the right. Now it is now the header is at a blank position. From at read 2, if I see a B, I go to a state called as pop. So the contents of the stack are pop. So the topmost element is A, which is pop. So the stack contents changes to blank character, whereas the tape head remains at the same position. At pop 1, when I pop an element A, I'm going to a state called as read 2. So in read 2, I'm reading the tape. So in the tape, if you look at step number 9, I'm reading a blank character. So since and what happens to the stack? There is no change. But since I'm doing a read operation, the header moves one place to the right. At read 2, when I see a blank character, I'm going to a state called as pop 2. Okay, so pop, when I pop the topmost element from top of the stack. So if you see previously, the topmost element is a blank character. So blank gets popped, nothing happens to the tape head, it remains at the same position. And finally, at pop 2, if I see a blank character, then I am going to a state called as accept. So this is about how the simulation can be shown for a string of the form AA followed by BB, which is a part of that language. And this is the PDA corresponding